This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow Manchild, Johnny Karlic.
Grass tastes bad.
And we are back. You haven't said that one in a while.
No, I haven't.
That was a nice little touch, and it was a nicely, it didn't peak too much on the audio. Thank you, because my brain's not working this morning. That was really nice. That was a nice touch.
Thank you.
At the beginning of the podcast. But welcome in to the Rick and Johnny podcast, where we're talking about everything nerdy that you want. Superheroes, movies, TV, everything under the two nerdy sons. And Johnny, do we have a jam-packed show today?
We do.
Because we're talking a little bit of Marvel. We're talking a little bit of DC on this one. And then we're talking a little bit of Disney. The three big punch, or should I say, I want to say the three main punch, or usually it's the 1-2 punch, but for three, it's the trio for this one. As the Black Widow movie, we know who the villain is apparently. We've seen set pictures of Taskmaster. You and I are going to speculate on what his role could be in the movie, doing what we love to do. Then we're taking a topic from last week, but I'm glad we pushed it back a week because now I'm going to revamp the conversation because WarnerMedia signed JJ Abrams to basically make properties for their streaming service, but now there's rumors that he could potentially be asked to revitalize or reboot the DCEU also, now that they have him under their wing and the ink has not dried on their deal yet. So you and I are going to look into that. Could he reboot the DCEU? And then we're going to end the podcast with a fun one where the Disney live actions are rolling out. The Lion King comes out later this month, as you guys see this in July. Well, it looks like we could have our Ursula for the live action Little Mermaid movie. And we'll ask the question of, should Melissa McCarthy be Ursula in that Disney live action movie? Before we get into everything, make sure to check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. That is how you help support us. $1, $5, $10, bronze, silver, and gold. You can help us out any way you can. The $1 tier is the easiest. You get the MVP podcast a month early. You get access to the Discord channel. Yesterday, we were talking fast break basketball.
Nice.
Kind of talking about whose team for the draft we had on the fast break was better. Duh, it's mine. But you could join that Discord, talk with us. There's also some nerdy stuff. Soapy in there is a gamer and a nerd as well. So it's a great time. Check that out down below. But Johnny, let's jump into this Marvel news. Black Widow movie.
Movie?
The movie.
We're saying the Black Widow movie.
We got a lot of info, not just Taskmaster. So we got photos that Taskmaster has been seen. We also have photos that they're in Budapest filming the film. Yes, I know. We're finally going to get the Budapest reference and probably even have an answer to the Budapest references because it's been referenced throughout the entire MCU. We've also seen, and I'm going to screw this name up, basically it is Florence Pugh. She is playing Yelena Belova, who is the Black Widow in the comics and cartoons.
Successor.
She's the successor, but in the comics, I believe she is sent to kill Natasha. And then it's basically like, oh no, we're on the same side. And then she eventually takes the Black Widow mantle from Romanoff before becoming Black Widow herself. We also know that the movie, this is from, CBR, which I believe is Comic Book Review. CBR.com basically said they show Scarlett Johansson and Florence at the wheel of a 2017 BMW 5 Series touring wagon, combining this with the fact that ScarJo's hair doesn't have a trace of white dye. The Black Widow prequel appears to be set between Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. I know I laid out a ton. Let's start with Taskmaster. He's the big one. Marvel fans have been wanting to see him for a long time in the MCU. I will ask you this, Johnny. What do you think, just from the one picture, from everything we know now about the Black Widow movie, apparently, or supposedly we know about the Black Widow movie, what do you think his role is going to be in the entire story?
I'm trying to think because, so the story we talked or kind of summarized that like she in the comics is sent to kill Black Widow. My guess it's almost like he's going to try and recruit her, or it's going to be like a semi-dual villain until they realize, okay, we have sort of a common enemy in Taskmaster and we need to kind of work together. It's a hard one to pick out because like if you have someone that's sent to kill ScarJo, where does that leave Taskmaster in all this?
And that's an interesting thing to where I like what you said about the dual villains.
Yeah.
Because to me, if you're going to count Belova in it, I think this could have a 3-villain thing. Of where I feel like early on it's going to be they might do the Belova sent to kill her.
Yeah.
And then it's like you know what, now we're on the same team. But I kind of have a feeling because Taskmaster in the comics and in everything that we've seen, he's a mercenary.
Yeah.
So I almost have a feeling it's like, okay, who is paying Taskmaster to kill? Is it the Red Room? Basically, they're like, oh, our spy that we sent to kill Natasha has gone rogue. We need someone else. We need to call a mercenary to kill them. Or is it a different one? The big overarching baddie.
I'm wondering if it is
for him.
I'm gonna say this is gonna be a weird way to say this, as I didn't mute that.
The annual
Annual so
from
yearly.
Well, the weekly.
There you go.
The traditional.
There you go.
Johnny phone noise. But go ahead with what you're saying.
So it's gonna be I'm gonna throw this one out there. So Natasha's on a mission, and maybe it's like a false mission kind of sent out there, like a false thing for them to send her out on a mission.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be that it's a kind of a trap for Belova, right? To assassinate her. It's gonna be like the switch over. She's gonna convince her otherwise, and then her handler is going to say, well, she failed me, killed them both. Because you have the scene where Taskmaster is chasing them both down in a tank as they have like a ripped apart, what was that, the Beetle you said, Volkswagen?
Yeah, the C...
Whatever
what
type
is it?
of...
The BMW 5 Series.
Okay, whatever.
Touring wagon.
Touring wagon, okay, Volkswagen.
Johnny's like, fancy words for Volkswagen.
Yeah, so... That's like that. I think it's that scene like right there is going to be him. Well, I'm being paid to kill you both, so
yeah, and
let's go all out.
Another thing that I kind of am looking at, and this is something that now I looked into it a little bit right now, and by looking into it, I'm not as upset as I originally am. But one thing that people are kind of looking at is, okay, the look of what we are seeing from Taskmaster, and he's got in the comics a distinct look to him because he's got his usually the white cloak, he's usually has the skull mask, but in this one, and I'll try to put the shot up here as we're talking about it, there's a good shot of him from the front, and to me, I'm going to be honest, I'm not super hyped about it because he basically looks like a budget version of Lord Zed to me. Like, looking at the face with, like, the silver bottom with the silver line that segments the blue groupings at the top, I look at that mask and I go, of course, this is a grainy picture also.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done,
grainy distance
I
picture.
might be eating my words and Marvel will be saying, well, Ricky, what are you saying now? But right now, from looking at it, he almost looks, I'm like, why am I looking at Lord Zed in a Black Widow movie? However, this is the question that I'm going to pose out to you, is are we going to get the traditional Taskmaster setup, or could we get in the comics, and I'm looking here on MarvelFandom.com, and this is what it says. I'll read a little bit. Under the segment New Taskmaster, eventually the Taskmaster considerably changed his appearance. He wore a costume apparently modeled after tactical body armor replacing his previous pirate-themed garb. The Taskmaster also ceased carrying an arsenal of duplicate weapons. Taskmaster began operating as more traditional mercenary instead of as an instructor. He first met Sandy Brandenburg after beginning his mercenary MO. Taskmaster spent some time around Wade Wilson after Deadpool became famous for the Four Winds hit and hired Sandy as his personal assistant. Wilson was not responsible for the hit. However, the real assassin, Black Swan, came after him and his friends. Wilson and the Swan were seemingly killed in the explosion. And it goes on from there, but the big thing is when he was new Taskmaster, he did have, and looking at the comic, it is more of a tactical suit. He does have, like, the picture I'm looking at, he has the one kind of pistol that he's aiming at the cop, but it is a very blue and white suit that he has. Is that what Marvel's going with?
The blue suit I'm not having the problem with. It's the helmet, and I'm hoping, like, I'm not having when I say I have a problem with them saying, like, not a big fan of how it looks, but I'm going with the idea that this is, like, early Taskmaster, and by either the end or a post-credit, we'll get skull-faced Taskmaster, whether it's, like, a Killmonger version of, like, I like this mask. Just takes the other one off and puts it on. Like, we don't even get to see his face, maybe.
Which I don't want to. I don't want to see his face at all. But, like, that to me is the big one is, are we going to... Because Marvel has not been afraid in the past to say, hey, this is how you remember them from the comics. Fuck that. We're doing it our way.
Yeah, that's true. They are willing to do that. I'm just like, the blue, like I said, the blue suit thing is not a problem or doesn't bother me because I remember him in the comics and stuff being like that.
Yeah.
So it's usually like comics and cartoons. He's got the bluish colored suit.
Do we see, and this is just popping into my head because you had mentioned it with the Killmonger thing. Do we see him get that skull mask that we're used to? Or is it more of like how do I want to put it? Is it more of like a tease kind of a thing where it's more of that, like, he makes a reference to him at, oh, that would be cool, and then kind of moves on. We're sitting there going, oh, I get it. That's a mask that he would have had in the comics. Instead of him at the end...
I'd rather have him get it, though.
I would rather it, too.
I'm hoping Marvel would, like, work their way into that. And I get, like, them doing it this way because, yeah, you want him to be like, hey, he's, like, maybe their mercenary or someone's mercenary coming after someone. And this is, like, that makes a pivotal, almost like a somewhat Taskmaster origin movie. Because he's also supposed to have the power to, like, study someone.
Yeah, the photographic
memory of, like, their fighting style.
Yeah, it's once you use a move against him,
he can use it.
He knows how to counter it, and it's basically like, well, that move is useless.
Oh, it's how to counter? I thought it was how to use the move as well.
How to use it, how to counter it, because I know, like, I was going to reference the Spider-Man video game that came out.
Yeah.
They had a cool mechanic in there where when you were going up against, he was a mini boss, and he had, like, certain stages that you need to do for him. When you fought him, if you were on the second, third battle with him, I couldn't use the move that I used in the first fight because I had already used it. He had learned it and now knows how to counter it.
Yeah.
So it's basically, in order for him, you almost have to get him from behind when he's not looking, or you have to hit him with something
you haven't used yet,
new that you have not used. The thing that I'm thinking about in the back of my head, you had referenced it at the very beginning. The Spider-Man video game actually referenced this. Is this going to be something where Taskmaster is... Because we're all thinking the main general thing is he's a mercenary, someone's hiring him to kill Black Widow and Belova. Or could it be like in the Spider-Man video game where he's like, I was sent here by some company or some special forces unit to recruit you and see if you were up to the task of being in this special group. And in that, he says, oh, well, it pays 6 figures. After Spider-Man says, no, fuck off, basically. He said, well, it pays 6 figures. And Spider-Man's like, fuck, man, that's a lot of money. Could we see that maybe in this one where maybe he's not working for someone to pay him, he's working as a recruitment tool for someone. Like somebody wants to try to recruit Belova or Black Widow into their evil organization.
Belova, not Black Widow, because everyone knows by then in the timeline, because the timeline
this is
discussed
before Infinity War.
Before Infinity War, but by now everyone knows Black Widow's on the good guy side.
Well, the only thing is she is at this point, and it's interesting, is this before she is with Rogers? Because before Infinity War, she's with Steve Rogers doing the whole kind of secret Avengers thing.
Yeah, but everyone has the idea, for the most part, that she is
on the good side.
On the good side, because of all this stuff, like
the deleted scene that they had from Civil War where she was talking to, what was his name? The blonde-haired guy, where basically in the deleted scene, she goes, well, I'm going to just release all this information out to the world.
That was actually from Winter Soldier.
Was it?
She
thought
dumped
that was a deleted scene.
all the information.
And then he goes to her, are you prepared for people
your
to learn about you? And she said, yeah. Like, so then maybe that scene is basically them referencing she is good and there's no turning her back to her. Maybe he's trying to then recruit Belova to see if she's up to the task of basically if she's good enough to best me, then she's okay to join this force. And then maybe it's Black Widow who's like, no, I can't let you do that, and is pulling her from Taskmaster who's trying to get her. That would be interesting as well. But I do know for sure. I can't say no for sure because I'm not in the room. I think I know for sure that when it comes to Taskmaster in this movie, I do not think he is the main bad guy. He's not the I almost said Killmonger, but Killmonger. He's not the Killmonger. He's the Ulysses Claw. Okay. He's not the, what do I want to do? The AIM. He's the Mandarin. Where basically, he's not the one that the end of the film is wrapped around. He's that kind of middle of the movie boss. Where it's
he's not Aldrich. He's AIM / the Mandarin.
Yeah. Where they best him, and then, okay, that then moves the story along into, okay, who were you working for? Who were you besting? But I
sort of crossbonesing him, but with more of him in the actual story of this. Because Crossbones didn't have a whole lot in either storyline he was in.
I'll be honest, Winter Soldier, after reading the comic Winter Soldier, I was excited for him in that movie.
For Rumlow.
And it was kind of like, oh, he doesn't have as major of a role as he did in the comic.
I mean, it was nice to get him, and then they kill him off right away in Age of Ultron. It's like, oh, well, that sucked.
Yeah,
we didn't get much Crossbones.
I really wanted to see more of him. The thing I will say I'm excited most for Taskmaster, though, introduce him in this film. Because it's a prequel film, because it's in Civil War, between Civil War and Infinity War, guess what we can then do if they wanted to? End of the movie, he gets his traditional pirate garb. Could you imagine a Deadpool Taskmaster movie? Or a Deadpool movie where Taskmaster is the villain? Because they could do then a Deadpool movie where it's like Deadpool is hired by somebody to have the hit on this guy, but Taskmaster's also sent in for that hit. And Deadpool's like, whoa, bro, there's only one mercenary in this town, and that's Wah. And it's basically them going at each other to get the same hit. I don't know if that's the entire movie, or if that's like halfway through, and then there's even a bigger baddie.
Probably the halfway.
Like, now that Marvel has Deadpool, they could do that if they wanted to.
That would be funny is they both go for the same hit, and like partway through it, he Taskmaster actually gets the hit, and Wade goes,
exactly, kind of like Wade goes to like cut the head off, and it's just like bullet. What? That was my hit, basically. And then
you're dead now.
And then it's basically Wade the whole movie. We gotta kill this guy. Like to Domino, we gotta kill this guy. Who is he? He's taking my thunder, taking my money. I have so many expensive hobbies. And he's basically got like a ton of like half done crafts and shit in the corner. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds will do it way better than I'm doing it right now. But that is even something that they could do. If they rebooted the Iron Man character, if they rebooted the Iron Man character with an Iron Heart, they could have him be that. If they even did in an Avengers movie, Taskmaster is an Avengers villain as well.
Yeah.
There's so many properties that they could use him in now that they have the Fox stuff and the Disney stuff that I can't wait to see how he's introduced to this world. And I hope he's not given the Crossbones treatment of, oh, he's nice, let's see what, and he's dead. He is dead.
Well, there goes that.
I don't think they would kill off Taskmaster, though. Any final thoughts with this before we move on into our DCEU topic with JJ Abrams?
No, this is going to be an interesting one to see how it plays out. When we finally get, like, something for the movie aside from, like, 2 pictures.
Like actual trailers and stuff?
A trailer or just a little bit more information down the road when it's, like, the trailer's ready to come out.
Do you think we'll get a solid answer for Budapest? Do you think we'll be sitting there going, all right, you're leaving this one open-ended?
We're going to get a hint at Budapest, and that's it. We won't get anything solid.
Another Budapest reference with no actual answers with the Black Widow movie. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. What are you expecting from the Black Widow movie? What are your expectations? Cameo. Do you think there will be one?
Possibly.
Because this is Infinity War. This is where he's off on his own doing the whole Ronin thing.
You said it was between Civil War and Infinity War. So
Infinity War, he's with his family.
Oh, okay, so no Hawkeye reference. Yeah. Unless she stops to visit him first.
Because the end of Infinity War is where we get the snap and his family disappears. Yes. So I don't know if we get
technically
Hawkeye
the beginning
reference.
of Endgame, but
yeah, but like it happened.
Yeah, it happened at the end of Infinity War,
and basically his whole Ronin thing happened in between Infinity War,
the 5-year gap,
and Endgame.
Yeah.
But I don't think we get a Hawkeye reference in the Black Widow movie because of that fact.
You mean cameo?
Cameo.
Unless she stops to visit him.
Yeah, or she gives him a phone call or something like that. One of the two.
Hey, where you at? I'm in Budapest.
Yeah, we could get one of those. But I don't
another
think
Budapest reference. That's all we get.
He's not going to be a main part of the
No,
story.
definitely not. I said, I said cameo at most.
Yeah. Well, this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below in that comment section. But Johnny, let's move on. We'll move away from Marvel into the DC extended universe. Like I was even talking to you before the podcast. I know that Warner Brothers is like, we don't refer to it as that anymore. It's basically the DCEU. It's easier to refer to it that way. And we've kind of got
call it that.
2 different reports on different things, and we're going to link them together. So last week, we were going to talk about how JJ Abrams is from the New York Times, said to be near $500 million deal with WarnerMedia. And from the New York Times article, here's what they said. I'll read a little bit before. So went the courtship of the producer J.J. Abrams by Apple, NBC Universal, WarnerMedia, and other entertainment companies over the past 6 months, as the companies scrambled to secure creative content for their streaming services. The contest neared a conclusion on Monday as lawyers for Mr. Abrams in final negotiations with Warner for a multi-year partnership valued at about $500 million, according to 2 people briefed on the matter who spoke on the condition of anonymity, basically anonymous, because the deal was not yet complete. In return for that breathtaking sum, Warner Media will get a first look at projects developed by Bad Robot, the media company run by Mr. Abrams and Katie McGrath, his wife. The deal covers movies, television shows, video games, consumer products, music, and digital content for a Warner Media streaming service set to arrive early next year. It was unclear whether Mr. Abrams would continue to accept directing jobs at rival studios, a perk that was part of his previous deals. Basically, the proliferation of streaming services has supercharged the market. Blah, blah, blah. Netflix gave a multi-year deal to Shonda Rhimes, the creator of Grey's Anatomy. There was also a Netflix deal with Ryan Murphy, who American Horror Story valued at $300 million. And then Warner locked up Greg Berlanti, the producer of shows like Riverdale and The Flash, with a contract worth more than $300 million. Representatives for Mr. Abrams and Warner Media declined to comment. AT&T owns Warner Media, which includes the Warner Brothers Studios, HBO, and cable networks like TNT and CNN. There is also another article from WeGotThisCovered.com that basically is titled Warner Bros. Rebooting the entire DCEU into two separate universes. That article reads as follows. Following the failure of Justice League, it's been obvious that Warner Brothers is trying to sweep the past of the DCEU under the rug, with recent movies like Aquaman and Shazam referencing other heroes but not featuring any proper crossovers. In the near future, though, things will start to break away from established canon completely, with the Batman said to take place in its own universe. And this could just be the start of some major reshaping of the shared franchise going forward. We Got This Covered has been told that Warner Brothers is working on rebooting the entire DCEU. Essentially, there will be two separate universes from now on. First, we'll have the franchises that have already begun and therefore are part of the DCEU. So that'd be Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, etc. From what we understand, though, there won't be much connectivity anymore between sequels in those franchises and early DCEU films. Any new properties, meanwhile, without ties to what's come before, will take place in an all-new, basically all-new continuity. As I say words wrong. Continuity, thank you. It sounds like this approach will be kicked off with The Batman, with our source also telling us that the Supergirl movie will be set in the same world. As previously reported, that film will sow the seeds for a new Superman to arrive later down the line by rebooting the Kryptonian mythology. Here's the thing I want to ask you, Johnny. And I was watching an Emergency Awesome video, which Charlie over at Emergency Awesome, although I don't know him personally, does a great job. Like, that guy knows so much shit to where it's basically like you get so much insight by watching his videos. He had referenced that there's a possibility, because the ink on the JJ Abrams deal has not dried, and I know it was referenced in the New York Times article when they said it is unclear whether Mr. Abrams would continue to accept directing jobs at rival studios, a perk that was part of his previous deals. I want to ask you, not should Warner Brothers do this, because I feel like that's an easy yes, but could we see, because of this deal, this $500 million deal with J.J. Abrams, could Warner Brothers finagle terms in there to basically say, on top of this, we want you to be the head of rebooting the DCEU, rebooting it, like taking over this new continuity that we're looking at. The Batman, Supergirl, things coming after. Could we see producer J.J. Abrams taking that over, kind of like what we've kind of seen with the Star Wars, because J.J. Abrams has done that in the past. Star Trek he did, Star Wars he've done. could we see a produced or even directed movie in the DC universe from JJ Abrams?
Yeah, I mean, if they pay him the right amount of money and give him the right amount of, like, I don't want to say coverage. How is it? Like the powers
compensation?
No, more so like power of like to make decisions.
So if they made him basically Kevin Feige level.
Yeah, or Russo brothers level. Then it's like, yeah, he probably would go ahead and do it. I mean, as long as they also don't try and put into his contract, oh, you can't do anyone else's films, though.
And that's the big thing.
Because, like, he might, like, if Disney decides to do more Star Wars films, he might want to be part of those, because he was part of them before.
Yeah, and I know that out of the last trilogy that we are seeing, he did
2 of the 3
7
of them,
and
right?
9.
Yeah.
7 and 9 were him. 8 was Rian Johnson.
So he might want to do more of those, because I know they were talking about maybe doing either Jango Fett or Boba Fett film, and I mean many others they're talking about doing. So it's like, and there's so much more in the Star Wars universe. There's what, I don't even know how many books are out there, because I've got some other friends that have read them before.
Yeah,
but there's a lot to the universe per se.
There's so much canon that they can
Thank you.
with.
I couldn't think of the word.
That's not like Star Wars has so much canon that's not the original trilogy, and like shit that's going on in other parts.
Even
of
not
space.
just focused on the Anakin the Skywalker and the Obi-Wan Kenobi storyline, basically.
Yeah, there's so much stuff going on that they can do
branch
so
off.
much other things. And just looking at JJ Abrams,
I mean, we could do an all Wookiee movie.
Do you remember the Chris? Is that why you're
why I said it.
Okay, because you stopped me dead in my tracks. I saw a half hour of just Wookiee. I don't want to see that again.
2 full hours of just Wookiee?
And also, I don't want to see another Mark Hamill. I think it was Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill
drugged up
drugged up
because he was in a car accident or so. He was in some kind of an accident.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And then Harrison Ford giving you the blatant, like, he doesn't want to fucking be here.
This is stupid.
Oh man, what? If you haven't seen it, like I was told this by Pete, who's done wrestling podcasts with us. When I hadn't seen it, he's like, "You have to watch it." Like every Star Wars fan
has to watch
it once. I almost quit during the Wookiee part because I'm like, "How long does this go?" It's the first half hour of the thing. No context either.
No,
just Wookiee.
All Wookiee talk.
I didn't even think there were subtitles.
No, there weren't.
So you're sitting there going, "What the hell is going on?"
Like
here,
you have to take everything from like
the context clues of what
what's
they're
going
doing.
on.
Then that stupid chess game.
The Wookiee's life day.
Yeah. Oof. Okay. So JJ Abrams, by the way, looking at his IMDb profile, some of the things that he has produced.
You just going off about that one.
I got stopped dead in my tracks. When you get me on a rant,
wait,
I'm
did
going to
you
go
actually
and rant.
mean that?
So right now, the only things that are in post-production that he's produced is a TV series, Lovecraft Country, and then Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker. Things that are in pre-production that he is said to be the producer of. Basically, Contraband, which is a TV show, Mission Impossible 7, 2 Star Wars, an Untitled Star Wars sequel, and a Star Wars project, an Untitled Cloverfield sequel, and then Half-Life also. Those are just to name a few. That Half-Life one was just announced. That one's not in pre-production or anything. And that's the key thing that I think, and I will ask you with J.J. Abrams, if Warner Brothers is like, hey, we want you to basically lead the ship to reboot our DCEU, but we don't want you working anywhere else. We basically want you all to ourselves. Is that something that J.J. Abrams should want or even will want? Because the thing you got to look at is, yes, you're turning down all the, like if Star Wars and Disney comes knocking, hey, we're doing another movie, we want you to produce and direct it. Yeah, you can't do that. But basically, in my mind, if Warner Brothers, if AT&T is going to come to you and say, we want you to be the Kevin Feige of the DCEU and plan everything out, I've seen what JJ Abrams can do. Mm-hmm. I would be excited for that. And there's part of me...
Oh, I'm not saying I wouldn't be, but from
JJ Abrams, would you want that?
Exactly.
Would you want that to where it's
to be limited like that?
And I'll put you in the shoes of Kevin Feige, or not in Kevin Feige,
Abrams.
In the shoes of Abrams. What would you choose? Would you choose to say yes because then I can do so many things in this with these DC characters, or would you say that is limiting me creatively because I'm just looking at one part and I'm closing doors to Star Trek and Star Wars and Cloverfield and all these other things that I love doing also?
I would say make a counteroffer. Maybe for a little bit less, because it was 500 mil.
500 mil.
That's a decent amount. You could probably go a little bit less and say 400 mil. You knock out that thing that says I can't do other movies. We got a deal.
Because then the reason why you're saying knock it down, just so someone doesn't be like, well, why would you turn down money? Basically, it's I'm getting something I want where I'm not exclusive to you for that.
And you guys are saving some money off of that.
Basically.
That would be like the counteroffer of like, hey, I'm knocking some off, so you can't say, well, we're giving you 500 mil. It's like, no, we made a deal. You
scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
But so that way he can still do the Cloverfield, still do the Star Wars ones. And then everyone wins, to be honest, because he gets to do these movies, but he's not stuck in one place creatively, kind of like, I got ideas for this, but now I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then he has, if he's just producing and making like kind of like I said, I would more so refer to it as the Russo brothers, who have planned out the whole Marvel universe and how it's going. If he were doing that with the DC, he could still plan it all along and then say, okay, you're going to make this movie. You're going to make this movie. Bring me a storyline by such and such time. He can delegate who's writing the storyline to people who he thinks who can do it.
And the more I think about it, I don't think Warner Brothers has to keep him exclusive to their own.
They may want to, but
the only thing I would put in there is a no-compete Marvel. Basically, it's hey, you can do if it's Disney, you can do a Star Wars movie, but I don't want you doing a Marvel movie.
Yeah, that would be fair.
But at the same time, I don't know if Warner Brothers would want to ruffle those feathers, because I get the Disney kind of opened the door for it, but basically Disney let James Gunn be on loan for Suicide Squad. So there's part of that too, where you're like, do I really want to burn a bridge of they could have said, hey, we'll take you back with Guardians, but you got to quit that job over there. Disney and Marvel are allowing James Gunn to complete Suicide Squad before Guardians 3. And the thing that I think about now that I look at it is JJ Abrams now in his career has kind of just shifted into that producer kind of role. Because if you look at the movies that he's produced, not the ones that are coming up, the ones that he's produced recently, is you've got 2019, he has 2 movies, Spy Jinx and the Star Wars movie. 2018, he produced 6 things, one of those being that Overlord movie that we went and saw. Yeah. That World War II horror movie that had the super
zombie horror movie.
Yeah, the Cloverfield Paradox, Westworld he's been a producer with. So it's like, and also it's at the same time, this deal for him is not just DC. It's just DC could be an extra kind of sprinkling to the top of this, because I look at things that he's actually directed, and it's the 2 Star Wars movies, Spy Jinx, which is actually a video game, Star Trek Into Darkness. So really the last 5 movies that he's directed: Star Wars Rise of Skywalker 2019, Star Wars The Force Awakens 2015, Star Trek Into Darkness 2013, Super 8 2011, And then basically the Uncovers, he did the pilot episode in 2010. So what? That's like a 2-year gap, a 2-year gap, a 2-year gap, a 4-year gap. So it's like, yeah, you might be able to get him to direct one of those DC films. Like, for me, what I would do is I would say, hey, here's what I want to add to the deal. That you produce some DC films for us, but I want you directing a Green Lantern film. Could you imagine with just the things on his resume for Star Wars and Star Trek, having that kind of familiarity with space? Could you imagine the kind of Green Lantern film that he could do? Exactly. A sci-fi movie like Westworld, sci-fi TV series. He's got that sci-fi.
Yeah, no, so that
credit.
would help with anything space related. So it would help with anything Superman. It would help with Green Lantern. That's really about it that I know.
Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter. Thank you. I almost forgot about him.
I'm trying to think.
Maybe if depending on what lore you're going with, Hawkgirl and
Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Hawkman is from Earth, isn't he?
I think so.
Hawkgirl though is from whatever planet that was. I forget.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like Martian Manhunter would be from space.
Yeah.
Green Lantern, a Justice League movie, because like there is like if you're gonna do Darkseid,
Apocalypse.
basically if you're gonna do a Darkseid movie.
But yeah, so like maybe
the Jack Kirby. New Gods movie.
There you go.
That they wanted to do. That's another one that's universe based.
Anything space based, sci-fi, related. He like, hey, we want you to like at least like we'll make a deal with you. You're gonna produce and basically Russo brothers the new DCEU, but we want you to direct at least 4 films as well.
Yeah, because last time I'm looking at that Green Lantern film, which I know I shouldn't, but I'm going to. Wow, holy shit. So it's amazing to me how bad that movie was. The reason why I say that is, you know who was one of the guys he was one of 3 guys that developed the story. He's one of 4 people that wrote the script, and he's one of the producers. Greg Berlanti. The guy who did Riverdale and The Flash.
Huh.
Maybe that's something where TV's more his style.
Maybe.
And that shows that movies are not. But
yeah,
it's funny seeing his name on there and going, huh. But yeah, the director of that was Martin Campbell. Producers were Donald DeLine and Greg Berlanti, as I said. That would be immediately the one thing for it. The very least, I got to get JJ Abrams to do a Green Lantern movie.
I would say try and throw in like a 3 to 4 movie deal where it's like, hey, we want you to produce the whole thing, but we need you to. I want you to direct at least 3 films.
What do you think of the stuff from We've Got This Covered about the JJ Abrams aside about DC splitting off the old from the new, basically using the Batman as the kind of reboot point of like, hey, we're going to keep Aquaman and everything in this universe. We're just going to reboot it here without ignoring anything that we've done, and anything moving forward is going to be in this new universe.
So does everything else kind of die off? Do you not have Jason Momoa as Aquaman? Do you not have Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman? Or is this like kind of, hey, they're jumping over, but this is a new universe? Because it makes it kind of confusing if you do that.
Here's what I think happens.
Okay.
And yet again.
Or multiverse it.
The pivotal, you can multiverse it, but there's one movie that they plan on doing that could fix all this. And you said it, Flashpoint.
Paradox, yeah.
Now, I get that Ezra Miller is trying to save his job, basically.
Yeah.
And develop that script. But I'm telling you, you look at that movie, and this is what I would do. And DC, if you love the idea, I would love to give me a job doing this, and I'd love it. But the plan is basically, okay, with the Batman and Supergirl, everything kind of bleeds over where it's like, this is the new universe. But then you have that Flashpoint movie. And the first thing that would be freaking amazing in that movie is, could you imagine Gal Gadot, her Wonder Woman, going at war with Jason Momoa's Aquaman. Because that happens in that. So now that you have Aquaman, he's a success. You have Wonder Woman, she's a success. You also have Shazam. Those to me are the big three. The Birds of Prey one, I think, can be on its own.
Yeah.
Because they mentioned in the We Got This Covered that would be with the Suicide Squad and the Wonder Woman. Is basically because, let me pull up the DCU really quick because I want to see where these timelines are supposed to be right now with movie releases, because it helps to see when they are coming out. So here's the future of movies that we've got. So 2020, we're going to have Birds of Prey in February. That's set for February 7th. Then Wonder Woman 2 in June 5th of 2020. So you get those two movies. Then before The Flash, which right now is set for 2021, right now you've got The Batman, which is right now set for June 25th, 2021. Suicide Squad, August 6th, 2021. Suicide Squad is interesting because James Gunn, this is like a one and done with him. Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily... The reason why I would maybe keep that in the old is I don't know if I'm going to bring that over. Like, I don't know if I have someone I trust to do a good job, as good of a job that we expect Gunn to do.
Yeah.
But this is what I do. Those four movies, you get the Batman in 2021, your first movie. That sets up the new universe, the reboot. Then The Flash happens. End of 2021. In that movie, depending on what the story is, I would do Flashpoint because that messes with the Speed Force and messes with time. When we come back to our original universe, which is now the Batman universe, the Wonder Woman, the Aquaman, and the Shazam that we know are in this universe. That it's just a thing of the Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam in this universe now look like the ones we're used to. So that way you don't have to get rid of Gal Gadot. You don't have to get rid of Jason Momoa. You don't have to get rid of Zachary Levi. And then that could set up the Black Adam movie that they're also doing.
So, to add to yours, I had an idea for that.
Go ahead.
So, we're going to cast 3 Batmans for the Flash movie.
Bruce Wayne, which we already have in Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Thomas Wayne. What's the third one?
Bruce Wayne
So Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck, just for like a short cameo type thing.
That's right. Because we'd have the old universe, the Flashpoint universe, and the new one.
Yes.
Okay.
So then like it switches over, time dilation, messed with like when Bruce was born, blah, 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 whatever else. You can change up like Wonder Woman's costume at that point, change up how like Momoa got rid of the beard, so maybe you do something where he has nothing or scruff or something. Change up Aquaman however you want to. Change up Shazam however you want to, just a little bit. Just their costuming and stuff like that.
I don't know how he'd look with this, but do you think we could get First off, I will ask this.
Momoa, classic Aquaman, short
blonde hair.
I don't know about blonde hair.
That's the thing. I'm
dirty
like,
blonde, maybe.
Like I don't know how, but
Surfer dude, dirty blonde, maybe.
Okay.
Because you know how he did have like blonde in his hair when it was long.
I'm trying to think. Is Chris Hemsworth's hair? Is it blonde?
It's like dirty blonde. It's not blonde. When he's
So
like
basically,
when he had the long hair as Thor, it was like blonde, but not like platinum blonde.
Yeah.
When he had the short hair, you can see less of the blonde because A, it's short. B,
yeah,
it kind of gets like dirty blonde, closer to the brownish side.
Which could also be like hey, we have the same character, but we're changing up that image a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Just basically, you keep those 3 who they are, maybe change up their image, just the hair.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and the Joker you wouldn't have to worry about because that's kind of on its own. We're not connecting that to anything here. Then the Suicide Squad, you can leave it off on its own if you want to. And even with Birds of Prey, if you're not confident in having that come over. Then you have Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam. Or if you're just sitting there going, you know what? We don't really need those characters over here because, and this is a question I'll ask you, is because of how Justice League failed, do you think it scares DC from doing another crack at a Justice League movie where maybe they're like, you know what? We don't need we don't need to do the Avengers thing. We have great characters on our own. We don't need to see them all.
I say they take time, set up all their characters that they would want for the Justice League. Do a Martian Manhunter movie. Do a Flashpoint Paradox.
Because we've got 3 of them.
Do the Green Lantern. Do a new Superman movie. Do a new Batman movie like you're going to do. Do everyone's movies first.
Because what you would need in my mind, and this is the thing with like the Avengers was... Because the Avengers were Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America, and then Black Widow and Hawkeye
got kind of introduced in everyone else's movies.
You didn't need individual movies.
No.
Hawkeye was introduced in Thor.
Yeah.
Black Widow was in Iron Man 2.
Yes.
And that was the original Avengers, right? I'm not missing anyone.
The original Avengers for the MCU, yes.
So that's 6. So the 6. The Justice League would be
whatever
Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam, Martian Manhunter, Batman, Superman,
Green Lantern.
So there's 7. 3 of those you already, Shazam, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman, you already have established.
Yes.
Batman, you are hoping you're going to establish with the Batman. So that really leaves the 3 of Superman, Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter. What you
also depends on what iteration, because if you decide to throw Hawkgirl in there, you could do it down the road.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because they're gonna do. I believe it's Hawkgirl and Hawkman are in the Black Adam movie.
Yes, Hawkman was supposed to be in there.
Yeah,
no talking really Hawkgirl last time we read it, or I read it.
Martian Manhunter, because I would go with John Jones. And I know we saw him in the Supergirl TV show. Here's see, and here's the question that I don't know if I can answer it. Because Martian Manhunter to me is the most crucial, and the reason why I say that, he's one of the founding members of the JLA, Justice League of America.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking right here to see how he was introduced with. Zook began to. So the thing that I'm just thinking of is with Martian Manhunter, because he's the one where I'm like, I don't know if you need to do a solo movie Martian Manhunter. Do you put him in a Superman movie? Do you put him in a Green Lantern Corps movie? Or do you introduce him at the beginning of the Justice League? Where basically the beginning of the Justice League, our Justice League isn't set up because it's a new universe. He comes to Earth because of a threat. And in that movie, the Justice League is formed. The JLA is formed.
I say you do a completely origin movie of like Mars. Just the whole story of how his planet got decimated.
You're good.
And then it kind of like leads to next movie. Those will be the last in like the series of solo movies. That will be your Justice League movie.
Okay, so you're saying
end it where he's about to.
So you're saying Earth. Green Lantern, Superman, and Martian Manhunter all get their own movies.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering, is Martian Manhunter the one you can put in a Green Lantern Corps? Because maybe it's a story about how his planet Mars gets destroyed, but the Green Lanterns are there because there's obviously a Green Lantern that is
Mars.
That is associated with that sector, quadrant of space. That
go.
sector is what I was looking for. Assigned to that sector of space, so you can throw that in. But apparently the movie that they had planned with the Green Lantern Corps was a buddy cop between Stewart and Hal Jordan, so I don't know how that would go in. But I do like that. I was just trying to see, do they need to do 3 solo films? Which, I mean, if they need to, it's not the worst thing in the movie.
It wouldn't be the worst thing. I just, like, you want to focus Green Lantern on Green Lantern. You don't need to, but I would want to focus Superman on Superman.
Would you want to focus Green Lantern on setting up Sinestro, basically?
Yeah, that would be cool, because then, like...
Even though we already saw Sinestro?
Honestly, start setting it up so you can have a Legion of Doom.
Which we've already referenced before.
Yeah, we referenced before, but you have Cheetah supposed to be in
Wonder Woman.
You kind of have Black Manta in Aquaman. Not like he can't come back.
He's supposed to be setting up for Aquaman 2.
Yeah, exactly.
We already have... I mean, Lex Luthor, it depends on, in the new universe, does Lex Luthor come over? Do they just do they basically Don Cheadle Lex Luthor?
They could.
Where it's basically, and this is Lex Luthor now.
Well, because again, you kind of just
can do that with the new universe.
You can kind of just show that with Batman, that some things have changed. And if Lex Luthor changed, that's from, you just kind of change it with the time dilation.
You don't have to...
Lex Luthor was... Batman was born later. Lex Luthor was born sooner. We get someone a little bit older to play Lex Luthor.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting
someone
to
see... Someone in his 40s, probably.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. And also, don't make Lex Luthor like the Joker, please. Thank you. But let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section about the JJ Abrams stuff. Could he reboot the DCEU? About the DCEU stuff that we went ahead and talked about, and kind of what would your plan be for the DCEU if you were in charge of it? Let us know what you guys are thinking down below. And Johnny, let's close out the podcast. We went from Marvel to DC. Now we're going into Disney and
Disney DC sandwich.
Yeah, the Disney. Well, Marvel
is
DC,
Disney.
But this is strictly Disney.
Yeah,
but this isn't Disney Marvel.
Yeah, but this is Disney.
I get it. They're owned by the same company.
Yeah,
that's what you're trying to do. It's a loose sandwich. It's more like an open-ended sandwich.
We use 2 different types of bread for some odd reason.
Yeah, we use like rye and white.
No. We used an actual bun because you cut that and you got 2 different sides still, but it's from the same.
It's like a pretzel bun.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
It's like a
the
pretzel
top's
bun.
different from the bottom.
Yeah.
But you cut it from the same loaf.
I like that. So what we're talking about is basically and you know what I've noticed?
I just did a meme.
Yeah. You know what I've noticed this podcast?
We do a lot of sandwiches?
No, not that. I've been saying the word basically a lot, and it's annoyed me.
Because you're a basic bitch.
Like, every time I've said basically on this podcast, I've just wanted to stab myself in the eye.
You gonna go get yourself your pumpkin spice latte?
If it's annoyed you...
You got your Ugg boots on, right?
It has annoyed me too. No, I've got my sandals on today. I don't even know what brand of sandals they are. They're from last summer. But what we're talking about is Disney live action.
Too warm for your Ugg boots?
We saw Aladdin was the last one we've seen. Of course, we had
At least he's not wearing yoga pants.
We've had Dumbo. I'm trying to think of the other Disney live. The Maleficent movies. The new one coming out as well. We're going to have Lion King in a couple of weeks.
Cinderella way back when.
Well,
you said Beauty and the Beast, right? I wasn't paying attention.
We have some new
to be honest.
On a new Disney live action movie. So they're planning on doing a Little Mermaid Disney live action movie. And according to Variety,
we're getting Christopher Walken as Ariel.
Oh, The Jungle Book. That was the other one I was thinking of. Thank you for that with the Christopher Walken reference. But basically,
look at the stuff.
Variety,
Isn't it neat?
Variety is. Wow.
Wouldn't you think my collection's complete?
Be Christopher Walken as Sebastian. So Under the Sea.
Under the sea. Under the sea. Darling, it's better. Downward, it's wetter. Take it from me.
I don't want to see that. It was bad enough that I had to see King Louis.
That was pretty good, actually.
It was okay, but it wasn't.
Louis.
It was not as good as.
Ooby-doo. I want to be like you.
Why am I blanking on his name?
I want to walk like you. Talk like you.
Baloo. Why am I blanking on his name?
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray as Baloo. But Variety is reporting that Melissa McCarthy has entered talks to portray the wicked sea witch Ursula in Disney's live-action Little Mermaid remake. Assuming that she signs on, McCarthy will draw from a script by David McGee, who also wrote Mary Poppins Returns, for her performance as the famous Disney animated villain. And the thing I want to... It also says here, judging by Variety's report, the live-action Little Mermaid is angling to update the otherwise fix the 1989 animated film in the same way that Disney's other live-action retellings have aspired to modernize the movies that inspire them. However, when rumors emerged last year claiming that Lady Gaga was considered to play Ursula, it was met with criticism from fans who felt the iconic antagonist should be portrayed by an appropriately plus-size actress. Fortunately, the remake's creative team isn't going that route and has instead reached out to McCarthy, a multi-talented performer who certainly helped to improve representation for plus-size women on the big screen with her work in the last 8 years since her breakout turn in Bridesmaids. So before we unpack that, because that is a box I will open, and yes, I've got opinions on that myself. Here, and before you start bashing, they're not bad opinions. I just have... There's something...
Certain opinions about it.
There's something for the role of Ursula that I think is more... Crucial than
I think
what
you and I are already
like.
on the same page without saying what it is.
But the thing I want to start with first is looking at Melissa McCarthy. I will ask you, Johnny, should Disney hire or cast Melissa McCarthy? Should she play Ursula in the Disney live action?
I mean,
Little
let's
Mermaid?
be fair. At least half of her, if not with Ursula, more than half, it's going to be CGI'd anyways.
Yeah.
Because what? I mean, let's just say waist down, it's going to be all tentacle. Anyways.
Yeah. So really, it's from the what? Looking at a picture of Ursula from
honestly
basically shoulders up. It's like she's wearing a strapless dress.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a strapless dress of green screen, and then everything up is just hell. If you want to do it like the cartoon, you're gonna have to make your skin purple.
Yeah,
light tone purple.
We'll get into that.
I'm saying
I will unpack.
We're talking
that.
about look right now.
Yeah, I would say for you and. Does that go in there? Should she be Ursula? Should she be Ursula?
I mean, I think
Mermaid?
with her acting range, yes, and we'll talk about just the acting right now.
Okay.
And then we're probably going to hit sooner than later the thing that you and I are talking about.
Yeah.
The acting, I think she's got the range for it. I've seen her in so many different films, and she does a great job. I think she could pull it off. There's one thing I'm just going to lead us into it now. There's one crucial role that you and I were talking about, and that's... singing Poor Unfortunate Souls.
Thank you. That is what I
That
was
is the main thing. I don't care what you make Ursula look like as long as it kind of references the source material.
Yeah.
But if she can't sing Poor Unfortunate Souls, and I'll be honest, I've never heard McCarthy sing except like jokingly in one where she steals identity theft.
Yeah, not Central Intelligence.
No.
I get the one you're talking about. It was the one with what's his face?
Jason Bateman?
Yeah, Jason Bateman.
I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
So Happy Time Murders. I'm looking at her IMDb right now. She was in Ghostbusters, Mike and Molly, obviously.
Yeah.
Tammy. Was it Tammy?
It may have been Tammy. No, it was not Tammy.
It wasn't Tammy. She was in the Identity Theft.
It is Identity Theft. Okay.
Identity Thief is what it was. Because that was before she was in The Hangover Part 3.
Yeah.
And then she was in The Heat, Tammy, Boss.
I mean, the only time I heard her sing was that, and that was her jokingly singing to annoy Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Or his character, I should say. And so I don't know if she has, like, the actual pipes to sing Poor Unfortunate Souls. So, like, I've never looked it up, and this is something I'm going to do after the podcast, because I want to know.
And that's the thing, like, I didn't know Naomi Scott could sing as well as she did. Heading into
and that's
Aladdin.
fine. Maybe she can, and I'm not saying she can't. It's just I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
So like I want to know.
To me,
going into it, can they sing the role?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to be kind of upset.
To me, that is the most important part is, and you kind of played into it of, can they sing? Because in these Disney movies, these live action movies, except for maybe Dumbo, you got to treat them like musicals.
Yeah.
Like, for example, look at The Lion King that we're going to see in a couple of weeks. Who's playing Simba? Donald Glover, a performer.
Exactly.
Who's playing Nala? Beyonce,
A performer.
Seth Rogen, I know, has sang like joking songs, but as Pumbaa, Pumbaa's a character you can get away with.
You're not looking for that voice. You're looking for Pumbaa's voice.
Exactly. Like, you can get away with the Pumbaa character not being perfect, but being good enough.
Exactly.
To sing.
He's not supposed to be perfect.
But, like, I look at those two and I go, you know what? Like,
you got performers for it.
Like, for example, I'm going to throw out there, because I'm going to answer the question first. Should Melissa McCarthy play Ursula? I am going to be staunch in my opinion. No, I don't think she should. And it has nothing to do with, oh, she's a bad actress, this and that. I don't think her style fits what I want from Ursula.
Okay.
Like, there's a part of me that feels like if she really wanted to, she could pull off the manipulative villain, but it's the singing I have a question about. And there's a part of me that feels like, are there other people out there that can pull off that villainous role a lot better than her? Because everything that, like, Happy Time Murders, you look at Ghostbusters, you look at Mike and Molly, you look at Tammy, you look at The Heat, you look at Bridesmaids, you look at Identity Theft. Is she a villainous role? No. She's that goofy, comedic.
That's true.
And Ursula, like, does Ursula have some comedy to her? In a villainous way, yes.
Yeah, she does. In the villainous way.
But you got, like, Ursula's the kind of character where, like, you have to know, like, she shows from the face that she is manipulative, that she is up to no good. She has to strike fear into people as Ursula. And I'm just going to throw it out there. Like, this one, if we were talking about, I would have no idea if she is good for the role, because I would have to look into it. But, like, for example, if you type in Ursula the Little Mermaid, there is, an article, I'm getting this from Essence, is the one I pulled this up from. And basically her name is Lizzo. She is a American singer from Detroit, Michigan. How old is she? She is 31 years old. She has come out and said that she wants to play Ursula in the live action remake. So from the Essence article, it basically says, on Friday, Variety reported that actress Melissa McCarthy is in early talks to join the project as the tentacled villain from the original 1989 movie. But fans on Twitter immediately put up the Truth Hurts singer as the perfect person for the role. Lizzo agreed. She even shared a 2018 video of herself dressed up as Ursula and singing a rendition of Poor Unfortunate Souls. And she posted that video on Twitter with the all caps, "I'm Ursula," period, at Disney. And for me, I would be more inclined to go that route, because to me, when it comes to Ursula, you got to nail Poor Unfortunate Souls. And I'm sorry, if you're going to take Poor Unfortunate Souls out of the movie, don't. Just don't. Don't basically do what The Lion King did.
Yeah, you already took one villain song
Be Prepared
from me.
out. Because, like, and maybe it's just a thing with Disney movies where we're going to learn we don't care about villain songs. Even look at Aladdin. We took out one of the best things.
We didn't get the reprise.
In the Prince Ali reprise from Prince Ali, da 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 da, now that you know him. And that's probably the
Jafar's
best thing
one,
from the movie, from Jafar, and we didn't see that.
No. I wasn't quite upset about that as the news that we're not getting Be Prepared.
Yeah.
Because that's like a full-on villain song.
Be prepared, though, and this is where it's different than Poor Unfortunate Souls. Be Prepared, I will admit, has some connotations with the original.
Yes.
That, like the goose stepping.
You could have taken
but you could just take
out.
out the goose stepping.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the problem that I see is all you could have done. The problem with taking it out is you could have just taken out that scene and made it something else.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have choreographed it your own way without taking out the song.
Yeah. But also...
Maybe he couldn't sing it?
I was going to say,
That could be?
also by cutting that song, maybe then you can cast someone where, hey, singing is
Not needed.
because we're cutting it. But I would
But
say
hell,
with
that
Ursula,
one wasn't necessarily sung up very much.
I mean, Jeremy Irons did a great job.
He did a
with
great
that
job
song.
singing it, but I mean,
Jeremy Irons has got pipes, man.
he does. But let's put it this way: compared to a lot of the other songs, tell me the range was like not that far. You and I both.
It wasn't a big
You and I
range.
both having musical backgrounds can say there's not a huge range in singing. Be Prepared.
You were not going up and down the musical staff on
You're probably
that one.
going like an octave, maybe an octave and a half.
And I'm curious.
And we're starting to music talk, so I'm sorry if I'm confusing anyone out there.
So Newsweek has an article basically where fans are reacting to Melissa McCarthy. Yeah. And basically all of them have the same, like, and that's the thing on social media, like Newsweek just said, where everyone is on Twitter proposing that this Lizzo is, and I'm just not familiar with Lizzo.
Yeah. I don't know her acting.
She's been an American singer since 2010. Let's see. What is she? Discography. Oh, okay. We've seen her in a movie this year. She was Lydia in Ugly Dolls.
Oh, was she?
Yeah. So we know.
Oh.
Yeah, cast her. Basically, after that, anyone in Ugly Dolls, I didn't think there was no one in Ugly Dolls that I was like, wow, that's a very bad act. Like, and I'm trying to think. Let me see, Lydia. I'm gonna put it up. Lydia, Ugly Dolls. Which one was Lydia? Oh, that's who she was. She was one of the perfect dolls.
Yeah,
she was the one with perfect hair, or with the purple hair. So yeah, why not and that's the thing. Why not cast someone who can sing? I get the Lady Gaga thing because
want to do a body positivity thing.
Well, not just that. I mean
that's part of it.
It also comes into the conversation too of like when ScarJo did Ghost in a Shell, where it's like you're whitewashing this character, you're taking work away from an Asian actress who could play this role. There is that part that's like, yes, you're taking a role away from someone who's plus size that could play the role because like, could someone say, oh yeah, just cast Lady Gaga and basically Chris Hemsworth her, put a fat suit on her? Could you do that? Yes. Would that be the right thing to do? Probably not. No. Because it's taking work away from somebody who could actually play the role without a fat suit. Yeah.
Someone who is plus size that could do the role. And here's the thing. I don't know what was her name again? The woman
Lizzo.
I don't know her acting chops other than Lydia. And that's not a lot to go off of. So when it comes to singing, I'll say yes. But when it comes to acting, it's a maybe. Just like McCarthy, Let's see. To her acting, because I think she could pull off Ursula the rest of the time. I don't know about her singing. So like, it's a maybe on her singing just because I haven't looked into it and I haven't heard it. And Lizzo, it's the opposite. So
I'm going to read off her... Oh, that's soundtrack. I'm going to read off her IMDb because it's not long. So her career started in 2016 with a video short called Lizzo Humanize. Then in 2016, she was a guest star on the TV series Brad Neely's Harg Narlin Scolopio PPO. Never seen it.
No idea what that even is.
Then another video short in 2019 called Lizzo Juice.
Okay.
Then 2019, she was in an episode of Two Dope Queens, a TV show. And then Ugly Dolls in 2019 was her first movie.
Kind of breakout
that
movie.
she was in. She's also supposed to be in the movie Hustlers, which is inspired by the viral New York Magazine article. Hustlers follows a crew of savvy former strip club employees who band together to turn the tables on their Wall Street clients. And then she's also in post-production for a TV short called Yeti Yeti, where she is a magic mushroom. So it's not very much of a huge kind of an actress thing, but when you look at her soundtrack, she's been The Barbershop Next Cut 2016, Shameless she's been on the soundtrack of, A Bad Mom's Christmas, Blockers, that comedy movie with John Cena.
Yeah.
Basically, RuPaul's Drag Race, she was a performer. Happy Death Day to You. The movie Ugly Dolls, obviously, and then the TV series The Red Line. So, like, you look at her soundtrack, that to me kind of, like, I get that there's not a lot of actressing stuff where Melissa McCarthy has her beat on the acting chops.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm going to go back to the key thing for me. When it comes to Ursula, how do you sing Poor Unfortunate Souls?
No, and I'm agreeing with you on that.
And I'm not saying you're
to some
not.
extent.
I'm just saying for the people listening and watching, I am on the side where I would be okay hiring someone with not a lot of acting chops. And then, because here's the thing, you got to make sure they could do it. But I would feel more comfortable with someone being like, okay, I got to put in my due for that side rather than I got to put in my due to sing it. Because if Poor Unfortunate Souls does not hit, that could make or break the movie. In my mind, could make or break the movie.
I agree with you. That's why I'm not saying a solid yes from McCarthy either.
Well, I'll go out and say a solid no for McCarthy.
The only reason I'm saying it's not a solid yes is I'm going to do my research later after the podcast and see can she sing, because I didn't even think to look that up.
Yeah.
And
I just, even with how, like, her
acting, I think she could pull it off to me, because she has that twinge of, like, I could see it as Ursula if she wanted to do it.
Well, the question I'm going to ask, and this might be an unfair question to ask with Melissa McCarthy, is, and I'm probably going to phrase this wrong, but isn't she basically a typecast where all of her characters are kind of the same, are they not?
To some degree, yeah, you're right. I mean,
yeah, some of them are bad guys. Some of them are good guys, but all of them are just the goofy, I talk too loud kind of characters.
Yeah, for the most part, from what I've seen, it's sort of that, except from in Mike and Molly.
Yeah,
where she actually had a bigger acting range than individual movies.
Mike and Molly, I also like Mike and Molly.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Melissa McCarthy.
Which is why I'm saying I think she has the acting potential. Her singing potential, I have no idea. Whereas Lizzo, I have no idea her acting potential, but singing potential, from what you're telling me, that's fine. So, I mean, I'm not saying to cast either of them specifically right now. If she's gonna put her in her dues and take acting lessons and blah 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 all that, then do Lizzo.
Yeah.
But if McCarthy has the pipes too, because I don't know if she does. I've seen her goofingly sing, but not take it seriously.
Yeah.
So I'm not arguing with you that you're wrong. I'm just in my opinion, it's she's got a maybe on the singing, Lizzo's got a maybe on the acting. They're gonna both have to put in their dues to see which one gets it at this point.
Let me see too. I'm gonna look up on IMDb.
Now I'm gonna bring up a tough question though.
Go ahead.
So remember, and this goes off if we're gonna do the storyline in Little Mermaid from the 1989, right?
Yeah.
So to make it hard for whoever's playing Ariel,
Which we don't know by now. We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
She turns herself into someone who looks somewhat like Ariel. Are we going to have them change that too? We going to have a separate actress for that? Or are they going to play their own role in that?
Oh, I would assume they would have a separate actress and just voice over Melissa McCarthy's voice.
Or whoever does Ursula.
Whoever does Ursula. That's
I would
what
hope
I would
so
assume
too.
if they did that.
To do that, because let's be fair, I would rather go along, not that like going against body positivity, but I would want to see the movie how it was. Plus, if you have the Eric leave and the person's not overweight, or the person is overweight, it kind of shames body positivity if you think about it.
Yeah.
So,
and the thing I'm looking at here is...
Plus, if you do McCarthy, you have to get a younger actress to play that, because she plays someone around the same age as Ariel. She turns herself into someone that looks around the same age as Ariel.
The only other things I'm seeing about potential other roles for this, that was it. So this is from comicbook.com, so take it as you will.
Okay.
They say, following Friday's news, Bridesmaids and Ghostbusters star Melissa McCarthy is in talks to join Disney's live-action reimagining of the 1989 animated classic The Little Mermaid as Ursula. Former Variety reporter Chris Tapley has revealed McCarthy's potential co-stars. Tapley names Awkwafina. She was in... My mom would know who she is because she was in Rich Crazy Asians. My mom loves Rich Crazy Asians. I think she's the actress that's in that. That's who she is. Have you ever seen that phone commercial for, I think it's an Android phone, where it's her and this rapper who I don't know his name, and they're basically like getting a pedicure.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
She's that chick.
Okay.
She is rumored for the helpful bird and human treasures expert Scuttle. So the white
funny.
bird. And then Jacob.
She's actually a stand-up comic, I believe.
Yeah. She's my mom's favorite character in Crazy Asians. And then Jacob Tremblay, who is a 12-year-old child actor. He was in The Smurfs 2. Was the first thing he was in. He was also in the Predator movie. He is said to be Flounder. The lead role has yet to be cast, but Disney is said to be eyeing Spider-Man Far From Home star Zendaya. The 22-year-old actress and singer who co-starred in hit musical The Greatest Showman and earlier starred in Shake It Up and Casey Undercover for Disney Channel, recently dyed her hair to the familiar shade of red, fueling speculations she'll next go Under the Sea. And that's the thing that
Ariel?
That's the thing also they said Zendaya says the red hair is her way of paying homage to famously redheaded Spider-Man supporting player Mary Jane Watson. Her MCU character, Michelle Jones, goes by MJ. Here's the last thing I was going to throw out, and this is the reason why I looked this up, was, to me, if you get Zendaya to play Ariel, I would not go with Melissa McCarthy in that sense. Because the only reason I go Melissa McCarthy is if I feel like my cast is so weak to where I need someone to be the heavy hitter, basically like Aladdin. Like, in my mind, if I'm casting Melissa McCarthy, she's my Will Smith. She is the one where, unless you're also thinking, well, Ricky, wouldn't then you put Zendaya into the same category as Naomi Scott, where, yeah, she's been in The Greatest Showman, she's been in Spider-Man Far From Home. Naomi Scott had been in Power Rangers before this, but wasn't really, in my mind, a big heavy hitter, a big draw to the movie. Is she in that category to where you need a Melissa McCarthy to bring people, like, of course you're going to get us who go because we love Disney.
Yeah.
But you still need that big name, like a Will Smith.
I think you kind of do, because her name is semi-big, but it's not like big. She's
You're
not
talking about Zendaya.
Zendaya, yeah.
Big, yeah.
Like, she's played a support role in Spider-Man, and she'll be a support role in Far From Home.
Yeah.
She's more of a support role in The Greatest Showman, is she not? Or is she a main?
Well, she was the her and Zac Efron were the love interest.
So I would say she's more of a...
But Hugh Jackman was the main pull.
So she's a support.
Yeah.
Like, she may be a bigger support, just like she is in Spider-Man at this point, it seems, because she's becoming the love interest, but she's more of a support so far.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, her Disney Channel, I get it, she was the main, but that's Disney Channel movies. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit different. That still kind of gets you on the support character list to some degree. Or the support character tier when you're comparing to big budget movies.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the reason why I feel like Melissa McCarthy is going to be Ursula, because there's the one thing I can't, although I've said no, she shouldn't be Ursula, because I would pick someone like Lizzo who can sing the part.
Yeah, you know she can sing it. That's what you really want.
There's just a part of me that feels like they're gonna cast McCarthy because they need that pull. They need somebody that they can put the big name on the poster to get them to get to, like, and maybe Ariel, that role does the same thing for Zendaya that I think it's that Jasmine's doing for Naomi Scott, where I think we're going to see Naomi Scott in some more films because of her
bigger
role
roles
in Aladdin. Same thing with, and I'm blanking on his name, but the guy who played Aladdin, we could see him in more films because of his role as Aladdin in that. The only one that I wasn't super high on was Jafar, basically. Any final thoughts before we close out the podcast?
No, I mean, I like I said, I basically split on the board on who to, like you said, Lizzo is for the singing part. She's got the singing part, but McCarthy's got the acting chops. So it's kind of a split. What's going to happen is I'm going to have to see, like, Lizzo's acting, and I'm going to have to see McCarthy singing to know, like, more, narrow down which one my choice would be. Zendaya, I feel like she could do the acting chops.
Yeah.
I'd be honest, I also haven't heard her sing.
Oh,
because I should have seen The Greatest Showman, and I never got to. So.
I will, after the segment, play you a song from The Greatest Showman.
She can sing, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I've listened to the soundtrack. Then, like, it's some of the best music that I've heard.
As long as you're telling me she can sing, I believe you. So
she can do it. I'll play.
Then she can be Ariel.
After this is done, I'll play you the Zac Efron and her song. But thank you guys for checking out this podcast. Make sure to tune in next week. I'll tell you, a jam-packed show we've got next week, because Johnny and I, because I'm going to be in Vegas and California with Dave, are recording these all in one day. Next week, we're going to be talking MCU. We're going to be talking MCU, and we're going to be talking MCU, as we're going to be looking at Keanu Reeves.
A lot of MCU.
How are they going to introduce Falcon? And then basically some news that Marvel is eyeing Hugh Jackman for Norman Osborn. So that's what you guys can stay tuned for next week. Make sure to hit us up on patreon.com. That's how you support us. Make sure to rate and review the podcast on Apple iTunes and Apple Podcasts. And make sure to follow us and sub to us on twitch.tv/most valuable podcast. Follow us on Twitter also. Johnny is War Machine 90 at War Machine 9085. I'm at Ricky Widmer. Most Valuable Podcast is at Most Valuable Pod. Want to thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Thank you guys for listening on podcast services around the world. And as always, have a good day, everybody.